First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
A new addition to downtown Gainesville will help give people a fair shot at justice. The details on that coming up.
And Micanopy businesses are reeling. Coming up, a look at changes being made and how you could help.
But first, a settlement has been reached in a lawsuit against Florida State University involving former quarterback Jameis Winston. That's our top story tonight. Good evening. It's Monday, January 25th. I'm Marie Edinger.
And I'm Taylor Trichet. Thanks for joining us. Florida State University today settled a federal Title IX lawsuit with the woman who claimed Winston raped her in 2012. A year after she originally filed the complaint, FSU agreed to pay her $950,000 and make a 5-year commitment to rape awareness, prevention, and training programs, with annual reports released each year. Even still, FSU did not admit a liability in the settlement, and the agreement does not affect a separate ongoing investigation by the Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights. The university's president, John Thrasher, released a statement saying the university has an obligation to its students and that it didn't make sense to continue. The full breakdown of the settlement can be found on our website at WUFT.org.
Some shop owners in Micanopy are saying business is on the decline, and one woman has taken to Facebook in an effort to revitalize the town.
WUFT's Ryan Roberts joins us now. Some of the shop owners seem to be struggling, Ryan.
Yeah, Marie Taylor, these shopkeepers say they haven't made a profit in several years. One antique shop owner I spoke with is trying to take her business in a whole new direction. It's a quiet Monday in Micanopy as David Menifee plays his guitar. If it weren't for his music, the downtown historic district would be completely silent on a nice January day that should have the streets crowded with snowbirds. Local shop owners are concerned because it's now late January and the busy winter season has been anything but. The lack of visitors has led some antique sellers to flee Micanopy.
Business has steadily been declining. I've gone from 22 vendors from 2 years ago all the way down to 3.
Bonnie Mountain grew up in Micanopy. She now owns and operates an antique shop called Micanopy Canopy Connection in a building her grandfather built. But it isn't seeing as much traffic these days, and she attributes that to a new generation with different interests. The decline of her business and the town has forced her to think of something new. So she took to Facebook to ask the community for support in changing her antique shop into a music venue.
The people who were commenting on the Micanopy Matters Facebook page was like, I don't even know a lot of these people, but I was so appreciative of their support for this, and I'm thinking, they need this as bad as we do.
She believes that Micanopy needs a revitalization for the town to thrive again. Her hope is that the music venue will increase foot traffic in the historic district and help the town that she grew up in. David Menifee is just visiting, but he would love a venue to play his music in Micanopy.
When you find something as beautiful as this, it lends itself to it. It makes you want to sit down and play songs for people.
Mountain will be meeting with Micanopy Town Commissioners next Monday. Her request to change the use of her building is expected to be voted on the commissioners the next day.
An investigation is underway after skeletal remains were found in Alachua County. Deputies responded to 5710 Northwest 84th Terrace after the owner of the property found the remains there. Investigators have established a crime scene and say evidence has been found, but the identity of the victim is currently unknown.
Marion County Sheriff's deputies are searching for a missing and endangered 13-year-old boy. On Saturday, workers with the Department of Children and Families were investigating a complaint in Silver Springs and were refused access to Jacob Evans. After obtaining a court order, the DCF workers and Marion County Sheriff's deputies returned to the home. They discovered the boy's mother, Jennifer Evans, had left the house. DCF now has a court order to take custody of Evans, and his mother has been refusing to answer phone calls. Evans is now listed as a missing and endangered. If you know anything about the whereabouts of him or his mother, you're asked to call 911. And caught on camera, snow in Gainesville. I am actually very upset that I missed that.
Well, actually, you may have missed it, but luckily there are some pictures and videos up on ufweather.org. And our UF forecaster, Amanda Hawley, joins us now. She actually gave us a heads up on Friday. I found it hard to believe at the time. Amanda, where did those flakes fall?
Yes, Marie Taylor, there is actually confirmed reports that snow fell here in Gainesville. And yes, we did talk about it on Friday. I did mention that there is a slight chance of this happening very early Saturday morning on our ufweather.org Facebook, on our ufweather.org page. But we got multiple reports on social media of this happening. And we've got, look at this, a pig with snowflakes on it here in Gainesville. So this is my favorite video here of the snowfall. You can see how big those snowflakes are before, and that was actually here in Alachua County, so it's not out of the question to happen. But if you missed this, if you missed it on Saturday morning, if you slept in, if you didn't know it was going to happen, you want to download our new app called Florida Storms. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. We alerted you guys, and we want you to know about this fun stuff because it's a very rare event, and I don't know when it'll happen again, but we've got a warmer night in store. Obviously, the cold temperatures didn't last, so a much warmer night in store than last night as well. About 20 degrees difference. Night temperatures will fall into the mid-40s, but coming up, I'll tell you when this warming trend will end. Back to you.
Thanks, Amanda. Severe turbulence on a Miami flight sends 7 people to the hospital. The American Airlines flight was headed to Italy when it diverted to Newfoundland last night. American Airlines says the flight was bound for Milan when it encountered brief but severe turbulence. 3 flight attendants and 4 passengers were taken to the hospital for further evaluation. An American Airlines spokesman says he didn't think any of the injuries were life-threatening.
I'm just happy to be alive. So, it was scary. I was just praying the whole time because it was very scary.
American Airlines made arrangements to put the passengers up in hotel rooms overnight. The airline said it was working to get a new crew together in order for the plane to continue its trip to Italy.
Florida troopers are looking for the driver who crashed into 2 vehicles and a trailer before slamming into a house. It happened early this morning in Orange County. The truck slammed through the wall of the home, leaving splintered wood and shattered glass everywhere. The Florida Highway Patrol official says the registered owner of the pickup said she didn't know who had her vehicle and that her roommate was home at the time of the incident. The crash remains under investigation and charges are pending. The owner of the home was not injured.
Social media threats caused 4 Florida schools to temporarily shut down today. The threats targeted schools in Leon County. One social media poster threatened to bring a gun to Lincoln High School and shoot students. Officials say other threats were made against Rickards High School, Godby High School, and Cobb Middle School. The Leon County Sheriff's Office is working with the school board to investigate these threats.
Officials broke ground today on the new Public Defender's building in Gainesville.
The addition to downtown will cost more than $5 million, but the public defender says what is even more valuable is what the building represents. WUFT's Leah Shields joins us live from the newsroom. Leah, what makes this building so important to Alachua County?
Well, it's been a long time coming. Alachua County officials have been working towards this day since 2002, and Public Defender Stacey Scott says the new building represents equal justice for everyone, no matter their income. The groundbreaking for the new Public Defender's office looked like any other.
1, 2, 3.
But
that this project represents so much more than just a building. It truly demonstrates the commitment that Alachua County has to the principle of equal justice for all.
After 14 years of talk of a new office, the 4 judiciary court offices put their funds together and decided it was time.
You have to see the building they're in now and really smell the building they're in now. It's got rodent problems, it has leaks, it's just a 100-year-old building that is no longer adequate for the people that work there or their clients.
Once the new office is in use, the Alachua County manager has plans to put the old building back on the tax roll, hopefully putting Stacey Scott's old office back on the real estate market for $1 to $2 million. The new office is planned to open this December. It will be 2 stories, 21,000 square feet, and equipped with energy-efficient fixtures.
When our clients walk into this modern professional law office, it will boost their confidence in the services that they're going to receive from our agency, and it will and it will give them assurance that they too can get a fair shot at justice.
Scott says the main goal right now is to build this office on time and under budget. Reporting from the newsroom, Leah Shields, WUFT News.
Thank you, Leah. WUFT News First at 5 is just getting started. Coming up, if your New Year's resolution was a special diet, new information says you may want to rethink your strategy.
Plus, local moviegoers applaud Gainesville author Rick Yancey as the movie rendition of The Fifth Wave debuted in theaters this weekend. Those stories and more coming up after the break.
And the warming trend we've got underway right now won't last long. In fact, rain chances will increase as early as Wednesday, but there was no evidence of that out there today. Check out this live shot right now. Clear skies. It was a great day, and tomorrow's going to be even greater. Coming up, I'll tell you when those rain chances will increase.
You're watching WUFT TV News.
Welcome back. Diet trends that are considered good for you are changing.
A new study shows that diets focused on one type of food are on their way out. WUFT's Haley Zagacki has more on that growing trend.
Single element in your diet, such as carbohydrates, proteins, or sugars, are over. Instead, a 2015 Data Monitor consumer report shows that selective diets will be rare within 5 years. Concerns about the health effects related to overconsumption of a single nutrient have started to shift toward more balanced diet regimens. For example, those who follow a high-protein diet could end up suffering from digestive problems. As a result, some dietitians support the change and say it will be more beneficial to consumers.
People are ready just to jump on any diet wagon because they want instant results, but I'm glad that it's going away from single focus because all foods can fit.
Some consumers are already on board with the trend in their diets.
I look for a lot of whole grains, good source of protein, lean protein, and then a lot of dark vegetables.
But consumers are not only broadening their diets, they're looking at claims on packaging as well. In fact, research shows that consumers look for about 5 claims on the front and almost 10 on the back.
That's about 15 pieces of information the average consumer wants to know before making a decision about what foods to eat, a fact that both consumers and nutritionists can agree on.
It definitely skews my buying choices. If I have an option of regular versus low fat, I always go for low fat.
I think it's great to be a very savvy consumer and looking at things.
Haley Zagacki, WUFT News.
Mina recommends focusing on the sodium and fat content in foods when reading the packaging. She also says the most important thing to consider in any diet is serving size. And diets are not the most entertaining thing, so we'll lighten things up for you.
Crystal Bailey joins with the latest in entertainment news.
Thanks, ladies. I actually do have a story on the not-so-diet-friendly game Candyland. I've also got some news on the reviews of this weekend's movies. But first, the Alachua County Library District brought a new board game to life. Here's WFT's Agustina Buedo with more.
Yellow! What color is it? Yellow? Okay, so come right up here.
Lord Licorice, King Candy, and Grandma Nut, along with other characters, were present today at the library that hosted a live game of Candyland. The youth section of the building was decorated with colorful squares and a variety of candy decorations that imitated the board game.
So we've been thinking about this and planning this since probably late fall, and we're very excited about it.
The kids can follow the colored squares around the library to visit classic Candyland locations like the Lollipop Forest and the Gumdrop Mountain. The Candyland path featured the game's main characters and different craft stations where kids could participate in activities that tied into the theme of the game.
Miss Mint is working on a sensory bin where the kids can dip their hands into candy cane striped rice. We have homemade lollipops and also snowflakes with queen frosting.
The library chose Candyland because the candy-themed props were easy to make and went along well with some of the summer readings kids had previously been assigned. Candy-themed books like Hansel and Gretel were displayed around the library in the hopes of motivating kids to go home with a few checked-out items.
Wrap it. And since today was successful and there was a great turnout, library officials are planning to do this again sometime in the future with a different game. And a local author is in the spotlight now that his best-selling book has hit the big screen. Gainesville writer Rick Yancey's Fifth Wave is a post-apocalyptic thriller that had young teen readers in high anticipation over the movie premiere on Friday. While Gainesville moviegoers were pleased with the movie rendition, Variety's film review says the movie left out too much. Pivotal parts of the survival plot were skipped in the movie, but this didn't really seem to bother loyal Fifth Wave fans.
Obviously, the movie left out a lot of details, but I think that overall they did a really good job, like sticking to the storyline and the characters.
It was pretty awesome.
It looks like you'll have to see it for yourself to decide. And as for all of Yancey's fans, his third book of the series, The Last Star, will be released in May. And The Fifth Wave isn't the only movie getting attention at the box office. The chilly weather might have helped drive fans to theaters to see The Revenant, which brought $16 million in its third weekend. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, the #1 movie won the Golden Globe for Best Picture, among other awards. And as taking second place, Disney's Star Wars The Force Awakens brought in more than $14 million. The sci-fi thriller is expected to make a total of more than $2 billion globally during its theater release. And Ride Along 2 slid from first place to third place this weekend, making $13 million in its second week. Jimmy Fallon is lending a hand to Flint, Michigan residents dealing with toxic water. The Tonight Show host is donating $10,000 to the Community Foundation of Greater Flint. He announced his donation on Twitter and challenged 10 of his friends to match his gift. Fallon is not the only one to help the cause. A number of celebrities have donated water bottles and money to Flint residents. And according to my sources, there was a Twitter page that was created just to raise money for these Flint residents.
You know, it's so great to see celebrities like Jimmy Fallon do this because they are role models for so many people, and when they do good things, it inspires their fans to do good things as well.
Definitely. Yeah, people who have the ability, it's great to see when they actually do go forward and help people out. Thank you so much, Crystal. Well, it's been the dry season, obviously, and these past few weeks have definitely shown it. I don't think there was a cloud in the sky today.
That's true. We haven't really seen much rain at all, but Amanda tells us there could be some on the way this week. Amanda?
Yeah, we do have rain on the way this week, but first, we get to enjoy some warmer weather first. It was very cold over the weekend, but we've got this warming trend underway right now, and today was actually a really nice day outside. If you liked today and this afternoon, you're going to like tomorrow even better because this warming trend will continue today and through our Tuesday. Our temperatures will be above normal for tomorrow, but that's all ahead of that next front that I mentioned. And this one's going to be a little bit slower moving than the past ones that we have seen over the past few weeks. Those have been rather quickly moving across the state, those strong cold fronts, but this one's going to be slow moving. It's going to bring us heavy rain at times for Wednesday and Thursday. After that, though, brief cool down is in our forecast once again. Below normal temperatures expected, but not as cold as we were over the weekend. No snow is expected with this front, but today was a nice day. Like I mentioned, a high of 69 here on campus. A few high clouds started to come in towards the later parts of the day, but still didn't hinder those temperatures at all, and it was a very nice day in store for us today. Tonight, though, temperatures will be 20 degrees warmer than we were last night. 50 degrees by 10 p.m., 47 by 2 a.m. Those clouds continuing to increase, and that's ahead of our next cold front. But tomorrow, the clouds will be there, and it'll be mostly cloudy conditions out there, but temperatures will not be hindered at all. 44 is our morning low tomorrow, 47 in Ocala, so cool, but that is average for this time of year, but noticeably warmer compared to this morning. But for your afternoon, check out these highs. 71 degrees for a high in Gainesville, 73 down in Ocala, and 72 in Crystal River, but those clouds will be there. However, we've got this southerly flow continuing to bring us some warmer air from the south. That's all ahead of this cold front that I'm going to track for you. So as early as Wednesday morning, we could see a few showers in the area, and then by Wednesday midday, definitely some heavier, longer lasting showers will make its way through north central Florida. And it could be widespread at times as it makes its way through, and it will linger through Thursday. But by Thursday, we've actually got a northerly flow coming into the area, and it's going to be a very cold, rainy, wet day on Thursday. But like I mentioned, temperatures aren't going to fall quite as much as they did over the weekend. Our last front that passed through on Friday morning and left us some very cold air in its wake, the trough that the dip in the jet stream was way down in South Florida, but this one for your Thursday and Friday is only going to make its way to north central Florida. So not as cold air filtering in from the north of here, but check it out. As soon as that trough makes its way out, we've got very zonal flow going on. We've got a westerly wind, and that is coming off the Gulf. It's not going to be Arctic air at all. It's actually Pacific air, and that's going to be make for a very warm week. And check it out. Ahead of our next front, which will be next Tuesday, we've got southwesterly flow, and it's going to be very warm ahead of that front. And I want to show you that here on my exclusive 10-day outlook. So kind of a roller coaster, but a much slower one than what we're used to over the past few weeks. So there's our front. Wednesday and Thursday, good chances for rain. 90% chance of rain on Wednesday. The rain will be ending by Thursday. However, a good chance for rain still on Thursday afternoon. But then check it out. The warming trend through next Tuesday, 79 degrees on Tuesday. So definitely a nice weekend in store for us. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Amanda. Championship weekend in the NFL was one to remember on Sunday.
4 teams fighting for 2 Super Bowl spots gave us 2 great games. We bring in WUFT sports anchor Ben Murphy, who's got more on the NFL.
The Super Bowl is set, and if you missed football this weekend, I can say you truly missed out. But that's okay, because I've got you covered. Stay tuned. Sports is next. They once were lost, and now they may actually be found. If the Florida men's basketball team shows up like they did on Saturday against Auburn, there won't be many teams in the country that can beat them. Welcome back to sports. I'm Ben Murphy. Simply put, the Gators were dominant on Saturday. Just over 6 minutes into the game, it was Florida who was up by 15 points. Dorian Finney-Smith, or as the kids are calling him, Dodo. He hit his first 7 shots and finished with 24 points on the night and was also named SEC Player of the Week. How about that? Florida up 53-32 at the half, 21-point lead at the break for the Gators. Second half, Florida was still really hungry, so why not put a little ketchup and mustard on the rim and eat it up? Justin Leon, a little lefty love on the breakaway. 5 Florida players in all got to double digits en route to a 95-63 win over Auburn. 3 consecutive SEC wins for Florida. Coach White, what were you feeding the boys this week?
If you're going to win games in the SEC, you've got to convert from the foul line. And I credit our guys, Kavarius, Johnny Bunu, Kayvon, Dorian. You know, they've just spent more time in the gym. They've been challenged. They know it's been a huge deficiency of ours, and they stepped up tonight, and hopefully we have more nights like this moving forward.
Mike White and Florida will head to Vanderbilt to take on the Commodores tomorrow in what should be a great one. Great weekend for the Florida men's basketball team. Yeah, not so much for their female counterpart. After watching Florida torch Auburn on Saturday, Amanda Butler and the Florida women's basketball team became Tiger bait Sunday afternoon. Number 22 Florida versus number 23 Missouri. First quarter, January Miller gets it going for Florida and gets them within 4. Later in the second quarter, Florida still down 4. It's Miller time, cuts the lead to 2. But Florida still trails by 9 when it's Ronnie Williams trying to get Florida back into it. But even her 14 points wouldn't be enough. Florida falls 79-64. Amanda Butler and her team need to make a quick turnaround with a game against Arkansas coming up this Thursday.
Really the key to being successful in the way that we want to be successful is being resilient. And that's fully what I expect to happen tomorrow in practice, and then the next day in practice, and then when we go to Arkansas.
Arguably the toughest and most important position in sports is the quarterback. In this generation, no one has lived up to that task better than Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Much like Ali Frazier, Magic, Larry, and Nicholas and Palmer, Brady and Manning have blessed us with a great rivalry for more than a decade now. And on Sunday, the 2 respected foes gave us their best for maybe the final time. Broncos and Patriots, right to play in Super Bowl number 50. First quarter, it's Manning. Dials up Owen Daniels. He's wide over the middle. Oh, excuse me, a little Panthers action there. Now we go to Daniels, who's over the middle for a touchdown. They lead 7-0. Manning, he's still got it. 39 years old, over the middle. Into the end zone, it's Daniels again. Broncos lead 14-6, but what would a rivalry be without a comeback? Brady and the bunch make it interesting here in the fourth. When Brady finds Gronk, how could you let that happen, Denver? Peyton Manning on the sideline thinking, oh, here we go again. Final seconds, fourth quarter, last chance. Gronk does it again. He finally is able to bring it down. Meltdown in the Mile High City. But don't forget about a missed extra point earlier in the game. New England forced to go for 2 here, and they would be denied. Brady goes home, and Manning will try to ride out into the California sunset on February 7th in the Super Bowl. It wouldn't take long to find out who's got a date with Destiny and Peyton Manning. Yeah, that guy, Cam Newton's cannon, took it to Arizona on Sunday. Big time already, up 10-0. It's Newton to Corey Brown, who says see you never to Arizona's Rashad Johnson, walks into the end zone to give Carolina a 17-0 advantage. What a mess for the Cardinals and Carson Palmer. 4 picks for the former Heisman Trophy winner. And as for Cam Newton, well, he continued to be Cam Newton. He runs it to the end zone here. He'll eventually leap over his own lineman and defender to get into the end zone. Yeah, he's going to go into the stands, give a little kid a ball, and why not give the kid a ball? Everyone in Carolina is happy, and you're going to the Super Bowl. Carolina wins 49-15. Ouch. If you didn't get enough sports this weekend, we've got the Warriors and the Spurs in NBA action. It should be a good one.
Right, that game starts at like 10:30, I think. Kind of past my bedtime, but I think I'm going to stay up for this one.
Thanks, Ben. Well, this is truly a story that warms my heart. Anything with cute animals will certainly brighten anyone's day.
And many Gainesville residents' days are brighter after bringing home a new friend from an animal adoption event this weekend. As the Alachua County Animal Services hosted their 2nd annual open house, the shelter offered free adoptions and free microchipping. With 3 rooms full of adoptable cats and over 50 adoptable dogs, there were a lot of furry friends in need of a home. In a Facebook post Saturday by Animal Services, a total of 21 dogs and 18 cats have found forever homes.
How great for those animals. You know, I just gave my own fur baby a forever home, my sweet boy Ghost.
Ghost is a sweetie, and hopefully, more people will take that example. Yeah. All right, before we go, let's get one last check on the weather.
Here's Amanda.
Tonight will be 20 degrees warmer than it was last night, so noticeably warmer through this evening. 48 degrees by midnight, 47 by 2 a.m. We've got a southerly flow ahead of a cold front making its way through by midweek, so tomorrow will actually be even nicer with above average temperatures, 71 degrees for a high. But then notice these highs start to dip and rain chances increase as a cold front makes its way through. It'll be slow moving though, but check it out afterward. Temperatures will actually rise to near 80 degrees by Tuesday ahead of a next front starting next week, but no freeze is expected over the next 10 days. So enjoy the warmer weather for today and tomorrow, and then the cold front will arrive midweek. Back to you.
Thanks, Amanda. We'll be back tomorrow at 5, but your Florida news is always on at WUFT.org.
Here on WUFT TV, BBC World News is up next, and the PBS NewsHour is coming up at 7 o'clock. Have a good night.